Matt Wilkinson, royal editor of The Sun, or some would say The Scum. Translation: a man with no visible credentials, no public record of real training, and no legacy beyond churning gossip. Your resume is emptier than your headlines. You've been at The Scum since 2020, pretending to be the authority on the royal family, but there's nothing in your background that screams expertise. No degree on record, no prestigious record on your CV, no investigative track record, just reheated rumor after rumor. Sold as exclusive to pad out a dying tabloid. You're a glorified stenographer for Palace Spin, and a gossip blogger hiding behind Murdoch's masthead. Every bombshell you write is a Xerox of yesterday's smear, cut and pasted for clicks. It's lazy, tired, and transparent. You don't use facts. You pad out articles with "a source said" or "an insider revealed." That's not reporting. Real journalists back their claim with documents, receipts, and names. You back yours with shadows and fairy dust. And let's not pretend. Your career hinges on Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Without her, you'd be writing horoscopes and begging to cover pub trivia nights. She's your rent money. She's the reason you're not unemployed. And of course, you work for The Scum, the same paper boycotted in Liverpool for lying about dead fans. The same rag that thrives on racism, misogyny, and cruelty. You and that paper deserve each other. A tabloid carcass propping up a reporter who couldn't hack it anywhere reputable. Matt Wilkinson, you are a parasite. You leech off Meghan's name to stay relevant. And the funniest part? Everyone sees it. You're a cheap rumor salesman. And when The Scum finally collapses under its own filth, you'll be remembered as nothing more than a man who sold lies for pennies.
Can somebody explain something to me? Why does Matt Wilkinson seem to spend so much time talking about Meghan? I'm serious. At some point, regular people start looking at this whole situation and thinking, wait a minute, we're still doing this. Because Meghan has been out there living her life for years. She's raising her family, working on projects, supporting causes she cares about, moving forward. Yet somehow she still manages to dominate entire conversations in parts of the royal media ecosystem. And that's what I find fascinating. Not Meghan, the fixation. Because if someone truly doesn't matter to you, you don't spend years discussing them. You don't dissect every appearance, every comment, every photograph, every business move. That's not how normal people behave. Imagine telling your friends you can't stand a celebrity, then proceeding to talk about that celebrity every single day for the next 5 years. Your friends would stage an intervention. They'd be like, "Mate, are you okay?" And that's where a lot of viewers are right now. They're looking at commentators, royal reporters, and tabloid personalities and wondering why Meghan still generates this level of attention. The irony is incredible. The same voices that insist Meghan is irrelevant somehow keep finding new reasons to discuss her, week after week, month after month, year after year. Meanwhile, Meghan keeps moving. That's the part that stands out. She doesn't seem to be structuring her life around her critics. She's building projects, supporting charitable initiatives, and focusing on her family while the commentary machine keeps spinning. And I think that's why so many supporters rally behind her. Not because she thinks she's perfect, but because they see someone who keeps moving forward despite constant scrutiny. At some point, people stop asking questions about Meghan and start asking questions about the people who simply can't stop talking about Meghan. And honestly, that's a much more interesting conversation. I'm sorry, but if Meghan is supposedly so irrelevant, why are some royal commentators still talking about her every other day? That's the question nobody seems able to answer. Because years have passed, Meghan has moved on. She has her family, her projects, her charitable work, her business ventures. Yet somehow certain corners of the royal media ecosystem still act like tracking Meghan is a full-time occupation. And regular people notice that. The obsession has become the story. At this point, some commentators seem less interested in covering current events and more interested in finding new ways to keep the Meghan conversation going. New angle, same target, different week. And the funny thing is, the constant attention ends up proving the exact opposite of what critics claim. If Meghan truly didn't matter, there wouldn't be this endless demand to discuss her. Yet year after year, she's still generating headlines, debate, and attention. Meanwhile, Meghan keeps doing what she's been doing all along, moving forward. That's what stands out. The woman keeps working, keeps building, keeps showing up, keeps supporting causes she believes in, and despite all the noise, she refuses to become bitter or disappear. Honestly, that's probably what bothers some critics more than anything else. Because every year they're still talking about Meghan, and every year Meghan is still standing. At some point, the story stops being Meghan. The story becomes the people who simply can't let go of Meghan. And trust me, regular folks are noticing. You ever notice how some people claim they can't stand Meghan Sussex, yet somehow know what color socks she wore 3 Tuesdays ago? That's where we're at. At this point, the obsession is getting weird. Not slightly unhealthy weird, I'm talking checking your ex's profile at 3 a.m. while pretending you're over them weird. Because if Meghan is supposedly so irrelevant, why are some commentators bringing her up every single day like she's paying rent in their heads? Think about it. The woman could sneeze, and somewhere a columnist would be typing a 2,000-word emergency article titled, "What Meghan's Sneeze Means for the Future of Western Civilization." Relax, mate, it's pollen. The game is obvious now. Take something tiny, shrink it even further, then somehow turn it into breaking news. A facial expression becomes a scandal, a dress becomes a constitutional crisis, a family photo becomes a 6-week media marathon. Meanwhile, actual news is sitting in the corner like, hello, anybody? Nope, too boring. The machine wants drama. Drama pays. Outrage pays. Rage clicks pay. And that's the part regular people understand immediately. We've all seen it before. The co-worker who starts gossip because their own life is boring. The neighbor who watches everyone else's house more than their own. The relative at family gatherings who somehow has updates on everybody's business except their own. Same energy. What makes the whole thing funny is that every attack accidentally proves Meghan's relevance. You don't spend years chasing someone who doesn't matter. Nobody launches a daily campaign against a person who has no influence. Nobody builds endless headlines around somebody the public supposedly doesn't care about. The math isn't mathing. The reality is simple. Meghan sells. Her name generates attention. People click, people comment, people argue. The cash register starts singing. And suddenly, the folks claiming they're exhausted by Meghan are producing their 7th Meghan story before lunch. That's not journalism anymore. That's a subscription service. The funniest part is for years they predicted she'd disappear. She's finished. She's done. This is the end. Then 6 months later, they're back with another emergency bulletin because she attended an event, launched a project, or simply existed. At some point, you've got to laugh, because the woman they keep trying to sideline somehow remains the main character in half their content calendar. Imagine spending years trying to erase somebody while accidentally turning them into your biggest source of traffic. That's like opening a pizza shop and spending all day advertising the restaurant across the street. Brilliant strategy. For regular folks watching all this, the lesson is pretty clear. Be careful who profits from your anger. A lot of these stories aren't designed to inform you, they're designed to hook you, keep you scrolling, keep you arguing, keep you clicking. That's the business model. And through all the noise, Meghan keeps moving forward while the outrage factory keeps punching the same clock every morning. Different headline, same script, same panic, same obsession. At this stage, the biggest Meghan critics look less like fearless truth-tellers and more like people trapped in a relationship they swear they've ended. If you're still talking about somebody every day after all these years, maybe they're not the problem. Maybe you're just addicted to the attention they bring.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm your host, Miles. I'll catch you in the next episode. Please like our podcast, share with it friends, family, and relatives. Subscribe to our channel for more of the hottest, realest, hottest, and unfiltered commentary. I'll catch you in the next episode. I love you all, and goodbye. May God bless you all for watching this video again, and for supporting the channel. And please, let's keep supporting Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex together. Let's make this channel a huge success. Thank you all, and I love you.